In this video, I'm going to talk over what a typical class looks like in my class. So for this, I'm going to go over the phases for a sheet as well as some extra things I do. For the sheets, again, like I said in a previous video, the first 4 weeks, I don't print out sheets for the students because I don't have any data for them. After week 4, they'll have tested. Then I hand them their sheets because I'll have scores for them where they'll have numbers for their core lifts. So after week 4, I'll hand out these sheets. I usually do that at the start of the block. And this is also how I do attendance as well. I have all the sheets printed out for each student, and I pass those out, and whatever sheets I have left, that's what tells me who's here, who's not here. So that's an easy way. I hand out sheets as well as doing attendance. So once the kids have changed out, they're back in the weight room, they have their sheets, the first thing we do is a general warm-up. Now I have warm-ups written on these sheets. I don't necessarily do this exact warm-up, what's written on the sheet every time, but this is generally along the lines of what I do. So I take about 2 to 3 minutes, start out, jogging in place or jumping jacks, high knees, and then do some movements that practice the movement patterns we do in our workouts. So air squats, lunges, push-ups, if we're doing upper body stuff, just warming up the body, warming up the muscles we're using for that lift. So you can use that as a reference or just create your own warm up there. Again, I only spend a couple of minutes with this part. Once they're warmed up, then I have the students do their prehab work, which is designed to prevent injuries. This is an actual where they're trying to get stronger. This is where they're working on muscles they're going to use for their workout to get those muscles ready for the workout, as well as doing some things for injury prevention. So that's in the prehab phase. So we do our warm up together, and then I have the students do their prehab exercises. You'll notice for some of these exercises in the prehab as well as the assistance lifts, it'll have an A attached, a B attached. None of them have C's, but I could have a C as well. That just shows what exercises go together. So A's go together, so you alternate between the first A and the second A. Once you're done with all the A's, then if there were B's, then you would start on the B's. So those are just to identify supersets. So for instance, this prehab here for Monday, I'm doing 10 seated good mornings, then I'll do 10 each of the Poliquin step up, then I go back for another set of seated good mornings, and then another set of Poliquin step ups each leg there. And that will complete my prehab. After the prehab, then the students do their core lifts. There's 2 core lifts here for Monday, hang power clean, and then back squats. For these, I have the students at their racks. I have them in groups of 3s. And then how I do it, again, everybody's different, but I really like numbering the students off 1, 2s, and 3s, where the 1s will go, I'll say 1s are up, 1s lift, they complete their first set there. And then once they change the weight, 2s are up, 2s lifts, and then I'll say 3s are up, 3s complete their lifts. So I have a lot of structure to when you're lifting for the core lifts, and that has gone really well, especially for just general education students, not having that structure for their core lifts. So again, I do it, 1s are up, 2s are up, then 3s are up, and then 1s are back up. And I do that for all the sets for their core lifts. For the last core lift here, it says 5 plus. So these are your reps, 5 reps, the weight is 180, 5, this is the weight, 5, this is the weight. Last set is 5 plus at 210, for instance. And this is as many reps as you can get at that last weight. So 5 and then trying to get even more. And that allows me to raise or lower their sheets based off of how many reps they're getting for their last set there. And I go over more of that in the 2 for 2 rule step for the how to use of this program, which is, for instance, for this one, step number 4, I go over this more in detail. But again, going back to the structure of how I run class, once they complete this first core lift here, then they'll do back squats. Again, I number them off, 1, 2s, and 3s. 1s are up, they do the first set of 8. 2s are up, they do the first set of 8. 3s are up, they do the first set of 8. And then we're back up top. 1s do the first set of 12, and then so forth. You could structure it any way. You could give them they complete it on their own. I prefer numbering them off 1, 2s, and 3s and having them go when I tell them to go. Then once they're done with all their core lifts, we'll be on our assistance lifts. Again, this says the A's and B's and maybe even C's. A's go together, B's go together. So we have 4 sets of 10 each leg of a Bulgarian dumbbell single leg squat and a Nordic curl. So they'll go from their Bulgarian single leg squat to the Nordic curl, back to the Bulgarian single leg squat, back to the Nordic curl, alternating between these two until they've done 4 sets. And then they'll move to the B's, getting 4 sets of each, alternating between these 2 exercises. If you don't know what a Nordic curl is, or a chin up, or any of these exercises, you can click on the exercise index and it has a video of what these lifts look like. So if I go back to the sheet, and then again, these are the sets, 4 sets. And then the right side has the reps, 10 each leg, 6, 8 to 12, 8 to 12. Once they're done with their assistance lifts, that usually brings us to right about the time where I send the kids back to the locker room. If there's time left over, then some of the times I will let the kids work on anything else they want to, or most of the time, again, I'm big on that structure, I'll have them do some form of bonus work here. So if there's time left over, sometimes I'll run an ab workout, a glute workout, and I have some examples of that on the bonus work feature of the program. Some other things that are included on this program here is the days that we don't meet. So I have some bonus work for them to do on Tuesday, a general warm-up, glute activation workout, an ab workout, and as well as Thursday when we don't lift. And then again, I don't do this in class, obviously. And then I also don't do the conditioning or mobility pieces in class. This is just something that I've attached on there. If a kid ever wanted to look for stuff to do outside of class, I have workouts that go along with this program. So the conditioning piece, that's linked on here. If I click on that, it'll take you to HICT method, high intensity continuous training. And these are some options for how to do this conditioning method, as well as why, what it does, exercises, some guidelines here. And you can click on that for any of these conditioning methods. Mobility, that just takes you to a YouTube video where you can do it along with me. Again, I don't do this stuff in class. It's just stuff that I have attached on here for students that so choose to do it. Some other things about this program, using it on a day-to-day basis. So for instance, I'm on week 5 and 6. This is for my X day. So for week 5, for instance, I'd see them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. These are the lifts that we're going to do. I've already gone over how I structured it. This is bonus work that you can do outside of class, as well as for Tuesday and Thursday. And then with these sheets on the back side is going to be week 6. Now from X day, I'll see them 3 days a week on one week, 2 days a week on the next. So this week has them 2 days a week in class. Here's Tuesdays and Thursdays lifts. And the days I don't see them, I have some bonus work program that they can do, as well as some conditioning pieces that go along with the program and some mobility work. And all these sheets are, again, personalized to each student.